Hello, welcome to this training session. This program by Mastercard Foundation being implemented by the Ghana Enterprises Agency in partnership with NABCO brings you a series of training. Now, this model you are on is actually called ICE, or the Innovation, Creativity, and Entrepreneurship Model. The ICE model, as we simply will be referring to it throughout this session, is to equip over 25,000 unemployed youth to start and operate successful business ventures. Now, graduates from tertiary institutions are targeted, vocational institution graduates are targeted, and some few selected dropouts from schools are targeted. By being on this portal, I believe you have decided to join this program, and you must keep to the models till the end so we can see your business as a successful one. Welcome to the info or bootcamp session of the ICE program. For this session, we shall be looking at few things before the end of this session. For our outline, these are the things we are going to look at. I will take time to introduce you to the project called ICE. We will look at the component of ICE and the benefits thereof. And then we dive into what it is to being an entrepreneur. Now, that is where it gets very exciting. And I want you to stay with me till we get to the end. After looking at what it takes to be an entrepreneur, we shall do a little exercise with a sheet that helps you capture your business. We call it My Business Idea Worksheet. From there, we will go on to do a needs assessment to make sure you know what you need or what your business needs to become a successful one. I welcome you once again, and that was the outline of our session. Now let's carry on to the next. Let's move on to what ICE is about. Before we do that, I want you to join me mention the three words that form the acronym ICE. So let's go. Innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship. You can actually pause the video at this point and imbibe those three words before we proceed. So do mention or do repeat those three words over and over again so you will understand what ICE actually means. Because going forward, you will hear me mention ICE a couple of times. So anytime I say ICE, I am referring to innovation, creativity, and entrepreneurship. Good. One may ask, what is ICE about? ICE is the component of this project aimed at transforming you, the individual, as an entrepreneur, into, or as a business idea holder now, into a successful entrepreneur. Now, the focus of ICE is to train you, give you all the support for you as a young woman or as a young man, to give you the support, the training for you to transition from a mere idea holder into an entrepreneur with the potential to grow your business. So that is what ICE is about. So for the entire duration of this program, have behind your mind that you are on a journey of being transformed from an idea holder into a successful entrepreneur. I believe that should excite you. For being on this program, I trust you want to be a successful entrepreneur. And trust me, this is where you get all the skills, all the knowledge, all the nugget, all the support for you to achieve this beautiful goal that you have. So, journey with me. Let's go. I want to take you through now, or give you a beautiful description of how your journey through this program will look like. From this session where I share with you the information on the ICE program, you shall move to at least 4 other phases of this program. The next phase that you are most likely, or that I challenge you to make sure you get into, is what we call the incubation. Then from incubation, you shall move to prototype. From prototype, you will move to what we call the mentoring or coaching session. Then comes the final session of the national pitch. So let me go through those phases one after the other and go through the details so you can understand how the journey goes. The incubation phase. So for your incubation session, the objective is to introduce you to how to ideate, how to create innovative and creative ideas, how to go and test the ideas in a market or do what we call the market research, and how to model your business. So when you move from this stage and go to the incubation stage, which I believe is most likely going to be an in-person session, you shall be given tuition or knowledge on innovation and creative idea generation. Now, this takes you through several steps on how to move your idea from just a thought in your head into something that is viable, something that you can present to judges, something that you can present to financiers or investors, or something that you can even present to family and friends who may be interested in investing in your business. In addition to that, you shall learn in the incubation phase entrepreneurial skills, how to start your business. Then we shall take you through what we call the business model canvas. So these are sessions that help you to create a business model canvas. And I want to encourage you to make sure you make it to this session so you can learn how to use the business model canvas, because this is a very unique, simple tool that can revolutionize your business. In addition to the business model canvas that you shall study or learn in the incubation phase, you shall also be doing what we call market validation, or the preparations on how to do market validation. We shall learn how to prepare for market validation also in the incubation phase. We shall also be introduced to the basic tenets of record keeping. So as a small business owner, how do you keep records? What do you write? Do you keep it digitally or do you keep it manually? We shall learn very simple skills and acquire the knowledge to be able to do this with our businesses so they can succeed. Now, in terms of the number of days, this session or this phase of this program, the incubation phase, shall take us 2 days to complete. So these are 2 days of well-curated content delivered in person at a location that will be communicated to you. In addition to the 2 days of training, we shall have 1 day of field work. Now, this is where it gets really exciting because you get the opportunity to go onto the field to test your ideas. As you may know, businesses are patronized by customers. So the business does not only exist in your head. You need to go out there to the field and test it. Meet the customer, meet the potential buyer, meet the woman by the street side who may be someone you are targeting. So that is part of the incubation phase as well. And then we have our final day, which is the day for pitching. Now, this is the day in which you will have the opportunity to tell a set of judges about your business. Now, that always is exciting. So make sure you make it to the pitch and tell us about your business. And do note that this is competitive as well. So at the pitch, you must perform well. You must be able to communicate your business, but there's nothing to be afraid of. Pitching is not a thing to be afraid of. Moreover, the incubation session will take you through all the steps on how to model your business. So on the final day, which is the pitching, all you need to do is to stand in front of judges, friendly ones, of course, and tell us what your business is. That largely is what the pitching is about. And note that the pitching determines your progress to the next phase of this program. So you must take the pitching very, very seriously. It is competitive, so you must do well to progress to the next phase. Now, from the incubation phase, you shall be moved based on your pitch performance to the next phase. Now that you know exactly what the trajectory of this program is, I want you to do something little for me. Pause this presentation at this point and do a little reflection. What are or is that business idea you are considering? And at this point, don't worry if you have multiple business ideas. It's still fine. We'll find a way to trim them down to a viable one to start with or a unique one to start with. How do you see yourself on this ICE journey? Do you see yourself plugging in to bring your idea to life? So pause at this point and use about 3 minutes to reflect on these few things and see how you plan to plug into this training session or the entire ICE journey to bring your business to life. Now that we know exactly what all this is about, the question is, how do you become an entrepreneur? Now, this is a big question. And again, I want you to reflect on this. Find your own definition. Who is an entrepreneur? This is not an examination, so don't worry what the definition you come up with is. Pick a piece of paper and write your own definition of who an entrepreneur is. Think about it. Think about yourself. Think about all that you've heard about entrepreneurship, the people you've seen running businesses. How do you, based on your own understanding, define who an entrepreneur is? So go ahead, pick a piece of paper, write it down. If you have multiple definitions, write them. It doesn't need to be a formal definition you've heard before. Just state it the way you understand it. Write multiple of them if that's what pops in your mind. I hope you've done exactly that. This is how I define an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is an individual who creates a new business, bearing most of the risks and enjoying most of the rewards. That's one definition. Clearly, the key terms there for an entrepreneur, you will see that it's an individual and he or she creates a business, generally a new business, and they bear a lot of risk. When all that is done, they enjoy most of the rewards. I believe that is pretty interesting. So you can promise somebody, probably you, young lady listening, you can tell that gentleman that when it's all done, they can join you, enjoy the rewards. But in the meantime, you have to bear the risk. When you bear the risk, you will earn the rewards and enjoy same. There is a second definition that I have for who an entrepreneur is. And that goes like this. An entrepreneur is someone who identifies opportunity and creates wealth out of it. Again, the key words there is identifies, opportunity or opportunities. Typically, there are lots of opportunities. They identify those and they create wealth out of that. So clearly, the intent or the intention of creating wealth is always part of the entrepreneurial journey. But guess what? Opportunities typically present themselves as challenges. Good thing for all of us, we live in a society that abounds in challenges. And those are exactly what the opportunities are to start a business. We all do know about a business like Zoom Lion. It's popular. They are everywhere you go. It all started because an individual, as our definition states, identifies an opportunity. And that opportunity was the challenge of field. So he set out to solve that. And certainly, he or they have made quite a fortune out of that. But they didn't just make money. They were solving a particular societal challenge, field, what we call bola. Now, question to you is, what challenges do you observe in our society, in your immediate environment, in Ghana, in the region in which you are, the district where you are? Are you only complaining that government must do this, the DC must do this, my church must do this? Are you complaining or you are identifying those challenges and preferring solutions for those? Now, those who prefer the solution for our challenges are those who create the wealth out of the challenges. So what you call challenge, somebody defines as opportunity. They create a business to solve that problem. And bingo, they are creating some wealth. So again, my question to you is, are you identifying the challenges in our society?